I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
But the pressure didn't just come from fans. Slowly, the media began to take notice. Several entertainment journalists began to highlight how odd HYBE was handling Taehyung's solo career. Light investigative reports began to emerge, mapping out promotional inequities, comparing publication budgets, and even interviewing unnamed former staff, all pointing to one common thread. Taehyung was being sold, but not developed. Question after question began to haunt public opinion. Why was Taehyung rarely given a stage to talk about his creative process? Why wasn't he given the chance to appear on major variety shows during album releases? And even more surprising, why did each of his creative projects feel more like a personal endeavor rather than a collaborative product between artist and management? Amid the growing doubts, there was one moment that became a turning point for many fans. Taehyung himself once said in an interview that he felt like he wanted to express myself more freely as an artist. It was a simple statement, but in today's increasingly open context, it became a symbol of something much bigger. He wasn't accusing anyone, but he was hinting that behind all the glittering achievements, there was a sense of unfulfilledness. Even more surprising, fans found that several international brand collaboration projects involving Taehyung were actually handled directly by the brand, rather than through encouragement or strategy from HYBE. In some cases, brand communication with Taehyung even occurred without intensive assistance from the agency, making fans increasingly convinced that HYBE was merely enjoying the end result, without actively contributing to the process. All of this led to a new awareness. If it weren't for V's big name and his own hard work, would HYBE really care? Would the agency just continue to profit from the popularity that had been built with blood and sweat, without building a long-term path worthy of his individual career? Now, the pressure is not just about publication. Fans are starting to question the contractual side. What are Taehyung's creative rights under his contract with HYBE? Does he have control over the distribution of his work? How much freedom does he have in choosing the direction of his music? These questions are not just curiosity, but a form of solidarity, a genuine urge to ensure that an artist is not sacrificed for the sake of sales figures. On social media, many content creators began to speak out. Analysis videos flooded YouTube and TikTok, highlighting the injustices experienced by Taehyung. They showed how HYBE seemed to be more busy making money through merchandise releases and exclusive projects, but invested little in strengthening his artistic identity. Several international channels even began translating this chronology into various languages, making the global movement to support Taehyung spread faster than expected. However, amidst all the commotion, Taehyung remained silent. He kept smiling, remained warm to fans, and continued to present his works with sincerity. But that is precisely what makes this wound feel deeper. Because fans know, behind that smile, there may be pressure. There is invisible fatigue. There are dreams that have not been pursued, simply because the system cares more about image, not soul. And that is why fans do not give up. They realize that if they do not become a voice for V, then that voice will be lost in the glitter of popularity. They know that this struggle is not just for one artist, but for a more humane entertainment industry system. They want to prove that fans' love is not just about buying albums or attending concerts. It's also about protecting the rights, integrity, and dreams of their idols. HYBE now stands at a crossroads. They can choose to listen, change their strategy, and give Taehyung the creative space he deserves. Or they can continue down the old path, one that will be fraught with resistance, pressure, and a loss of public trust. What is clear is that time will not wait, and the world has changed. Kimtaehyung, a name that is not only familiar in K-pop circles, but has also become a global icon whose face adorns billboards in major cities around the world. The world knows him as V from BTS, an idol with unteachable charisma, an inimitable aura, and a charm that is too strong to ignore. However, behind the camera's spotlight and the glitz of the celebrity world, something is slowly revealed that makes many fans start to feel uncomfortable. What really happened behind the scenes? Was V's success truly supported sincerely by his agency, HYBE? Or was Taehyung secretly used as a commodity that was continuously milked for profit without equivalent creative support? When Taehyung made his solo debut with the album Layover, fans cheered. This was the long-awaited moment. However, that expectation slowly turned into disappointment. Minimal promotion, no appearance schedules on major music shows, and no special momentum that signified a celebration like other famous artists' solo debuts. Instead, there is a wave of expensive merchandise releases, exclusive bundles, and limited photo books, all using V's name, but not giving his art a chance to shine. This is not the first time this has happened. In fact, fans are now starting to form a pattern, finding a common thread that can no longer be ignored. HYBE is so aggressive in selling V's image as a symbol of luxury. He is sent to fashion weeks, paired with exclusive world brands, and even his face is the spearhead of many global strategic collaborations. But at the same time, support for his creative projects seems to be running without a driving force. Taehyung, in many ways, seems to be struggling alone. He is known as a perfectionist, directly involved in the concept of music videos, the choice of color tones, photo shoot outfits, and even the theme of the album. However, this involvement feels more like a personal initiative than the result of encouragement from the agency team. Fans are starting to wonder, where exactly is HYBE when Taehyung needs a creative team to support his vision? Even more ironic, Taehyung's content release moments often coincide with the big agendas of other HYBE artists. It's as if the spotlight that should belong to V has to be shared, or even ignored altogether. There are even times when Taehyung's live broadcasts suddenly disappear, or his updates are cancelled without explanation. This raises suspicions that there is a hidden arrangement in his schedule. Is this a systematic effort to ensure that V doesn't steal too much attention? And if you look deeper, Taehyung is too valuable an asset commercially. His stunning visuals, his mysterious yet warm personality, and his natural charm have made many global brands compete to sign him. HYBE is well aware of this value, but instead of nurturing him as an artist, they seem to have made him a luxury showcase locked in a gold frame, showcased, sold, but not really free to grow. Fans' anger is no longer just a whisper. They have begun to unite, voicing their protests with hashtags like #ProtectTaehyung, #StopExploitingV, and #HYBTransparencyNow that continue to trend globally. Not a few have made in-depth analyses, unraveling the subtle exploitation patterns in HYBE's business strategy. They compared the treatment of Taehyung with other HYBE solo artists, and the results further strengthened the suspicion that Taehyung was only used as a money machine whose art was silenced. Some fans even uncovered HYBE's internal release data. They showed how V's merchandise sales always dominate, but there is no transparency regarding a decent promotional budget. High income is not accompanied by commensurate creative investment. All of this raises one increasingly disturbing question. Is Taehyung only used as a flagship product without being given a strong foundation for a solo career? What makes it all the more painful is the fact that Taehyung himself is known for never being half-hearted in his work. He always brings vision, depth, and a personal touch to every project. But with this kind of treatment, it's as if the work is just a packaging complement to sell products, not an expression of his soul as an artist. K-pop industry analysts have also begun to speak up. They call HYBE's strategy a form of silent exploitation, minimal promotion, but still making a profit through the artist's popularity. This strategy may be smart for business, but it is morally and humanitarianly questionable, especially when it is the voice, spirit, and artistic rights of an artist like Taehyung that are being sacrificed.